What is post-traumatic growth? My definition of post-traumatic growth is when your purpose becomes greater than your pain. When your purpose becomes greater than your pain. What do I mean by that, and how can I give you an example? So I'm Britt. I am a survivor turned practitioner and trauma-informed educator and advocate. And my road to recovery as a survivor was never pretty. In fact, it was pretty ugly. In my early 20s, I was trying desperately to heal from a lifetime of trauma. I was born into addiction. I was placed in foster care. Never really knew my biological father. I lost my brother when I was in high school in a car accident. And then when I was 20 years old, I was sexually assaulted by a stranger who helped me to change my flat tire. Now, I didn't grow up with the tools, with the awareness of how to cope and how to deal with trauma. And so my road to recovery included things like alcohol abuse, pill dependence and addiction, eating disorders, mental health issues. I constantly found myself in a vicious cycle of abusive and toxic relationships. And it got so bad to the point where when I was 22, I ended up in a jail cell. And in my late teens, I actually had ended up in a hospital bed with alcohol poisoning where I flatlined. I'm giving you the backstory to help you to recognize that it was not easy for me to get to a place where my purpose became greater than my pain. Now, the moment where everything changed for me in my healing was actually shortly after I got arrested when I was 22 years old. And at the time, I had recognized that I had been spending most of my life running away from my pain. I had been trying to numb it, avoid it, suppress it. And when I recognized that that was not going to work anymore, I decided to face my pain head on. I got really engrossed in therapy, but I also got engrossed in somatic therapy, recognizing that my nervous system, my physiology, was still stuck in active states of survival. I was stuck in a state of fight, in a state of flight. And so working with a somatic therapist helped my nervous system to come back into regulation and back into a place of restoration. Now, it was around this time that I had graduated from college with a degree in photojournalism and a degree in women's studies with concentrations in gender-based violence and violence prevention. And shortly after graduation, I took my skills overseas and I started working within rape crisis and trauma centers on the other side of the globe. And not only did this work bring so much meaning, so much purpose to everything that I had gone through, but it allowed me to, in some ways, heal in this process by walking with other people in their pain. There's a certain amount of carrying your own pain that has to be available as well. It was a collective experience that I got to share in. And over time, as I healed more and more personally, and as I became more and more passionate about the work that I was doing, I recognized without even really trying that a lot of the symptoms, a lot of the behaviors, a lot of the urges and the desires to want to numb, to run away, that over time they had actually disappeared. And through regulating my nervous system, through being in community with others, through walking in purpose, this is what created so much growth in my healing. And I think what this ultimately helped me to realize is that the goal in healing is not to get rid of the pain, it's not to avoid it, it's not to run from it. The goal in healing is to create a deeper well within yourself, to be not only with the pain, but to create space to be with things like joy, peace, purpose, and meaning as well.